Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 mistakes that can kill a startup. So let's kick things off with number 1. The first thing which can kill a startup is having no clear direction. Now what I mean by that is either that they do not have a business plan in place, or that they have a goal way off in the distance but they're not quite sure how to get there. Now that is fine. I'm a big believer that you need a plan so that you know what you're going to deviate from. Because trust me, whatever plan you have in place is never going to be a straight road. You're going to be bumps, there's going to be obstacles, and you're going to have to divert and adjust accordingly. But if you have an end goal in mind but have no idea how you're going to get there, that is what's going to cause problems. Before you know it, you're going to be wasting time on things which are not pertinent to achieving the goal. You're going to try and do too much and spread yourself too thinly, and progress is not going to be getting made in the areas that need it. So number 1 is having no clear direction. If you're starting a business, you need to have a clear goal, target in mind, and set off on that path which you know or that you sincerely believe is going to help you achieve said goals and targets. Mistake number 2, and that is listening to too many people. If I listened to the majority of people when I told them about my business idea and what I wanted to be working on, they told me it was ridiculous and that it would never work and I shouldn't do it. I should carry on working for someone else and ultimately carry on being an employee. And now can you imagine if I'd have taken that advice? Taking too much advice from people is a bad thing, because ultimately you have to run your own race. You are going to do things your way with your own experience and your own knowledge, which nobody else can replicate, and certainly no one else can foresee how it will go. I would also say be careful who you're taking advice from. You know, by all means, I take advice off other entrepreneurs on a weekly basis. You know, I listen to what they have to say and I value their feedback. All of the people who told me that I shouldn't start the business and that it was too risky and that it never been done before, and basically were giving me a list of reasons why I was stupid, were all employees. Granted, some of them were employees in big businesses, others were in small businesses, others had tried to set up a business and failed, and that is perhaps what was skewing their belief in me as a person to be able to go and do this. Ultimately, I ignored it and I did my own thing. And like I said, just be careful. Don't listen to everybody who gives you advice, because everybody's going to be in such a rush to tell you what they think. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best advice for you. So don't listen to everybody. And like I said, because if I did, I probably wouldn't have started a business. Mistake number 3 is not hiring staff quickly enough for the business. Now, again, I've touched on this in an earlier video, one with Matt, the interview, and we openly said that hiring was the best thing that we could do in our business, and it helped us scale very quickly because all of a sudden we had all this more time to spend doing what we should in the business and not what we shouldn't have been doing in the business. I know that if you're running a business, you're probably in the idea of, I want to start a business and be entrepreneurial. I don't want to be a boss. I don't want to be a manager. Unfortunately, if you're going to grow, you are going to need staff, and you will have to learn how to handle staff. It's just one of those unfortunate realities. It's not hard. If I can do it, you can do it. But ultimately, not putting staff into the business when it's needed is going to hold you back, and ultimately could be your downfall. It's one of those things. People are too afraid to pull the trigger, and ultimately you have to just take the leap, and as soon as the business can afford it, bring some staff on board to help you grow. Now, number 4 is a bit of a flip on that, and that is the 4th mistake which can kill a startup is growing too quickly. Some people think this is an impossible thing and that growth is everything, but trust me, growing too quickly can kill a business. you do need patience when you're in this sort of entrepreneurial arena building businesses. It is a long game. You have to think into the future. You're not trying to turn over 10 million in your first year, in most cases. Ultimately, if you try and grow too quickly and take too much on, things are going to start to fail. Cracks are going to start to show. Whatever your business might be, whether you're taking on new partners to work with, new customers to work with, if you're trying to expand into too many regions for whatever your business is, if you don't have the right processes in place and the right staff numbers in place, you're going to start doing them badly. You're going to start failing, you're going to start letting people down, and people aren't going to want to work with you if you're not a man of your word or woman of your word. And that means that they're not going to work with you again. So you've burnt that bridge. And too many of those failures is going to kill the business. So don't grow too quickly. Grow at a steady progressive rate and grow your business as the business grows, if that makes sense. And finally, the fifth biggest mistake that can kill a startup is having cash flow problems. Now, cash flow is very different to having cash, and it's very different to having profit. It's basically money coming in and money going out of the business. So you need to make sure that your business has a steady income coming in to cover the outgoings. And you should always, I try and work on a rule of thirds. I would always want my incomings to be at least a third greater than my outgoings. The reason for that is if something drastic happened and a chunk of those incomings went away and no longer were coming in, I still need to be able to pay the outgoings, because as soon as I can't pay the outgoings, as soon as I can't pay the staff for the building, for the overheads, the business starts to fail. And that gets into a spiral which is very hard to get out of without then loaning money, lending money, which again you then have to pay back. And as soon as you start hitting that downward slope, you have to work twice as hard to pull it back out. So avoid cash flow issues as much as you can. Nothing will kill a business quicker than cash flow. I promise you that. So that has been my top 5 mistakes that can kill a startup. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you have any other mistakes which you think I've missed? Or do you have any stories to share on things that you've witnessed? Please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please give me a like rating. Subscribe if you are new. And with that said, I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching.